Rightio guys, welcome to a very special day. So, you're looking at me because I'm not riding my bike, I'm not riding Rosie the Rally, I'm riding something very special, something that is joining the On Throttle garage for the winter of 2023. Wasn't originally going to be a winter test, but I have secured the very first long-term test bike of my career. So for the next 3 or 4 months I'm going to be riding this bike around the Waikato, around the North Island of New Zealand. Basically whenever I can get on a bike, my goal is to be riding this thing, and we're going to try and learn a bit more about it. So before we get to the reveal, this is a bike that I have actually tested before, in very similar conditions to this in fact, but I only had it for a week last time, which, as you probably know, you can only learn so much about a bike in a week. So I'm really looking forward to having this for a much more prolonged riding experience. So we're gonna roll on and we are going to head off into the hills to one of my favourite spots. Hopefully it's not pouring with rain, but I do have a raincoat just in case it does. So we're off into the hills and I will reveal just what this bike is. So I'm going to continue to ride gently because this is a brand new motorcycle, it's not even broken in yet. That's going to be part of the test, sort of braking in a motorcycle instead of hammering on it like a normal loon. And yeah, so enough of me talking to my helmet, talking to you down here. Let's go to that favourite spot, so I'll see you there. Righto team, here we are up one of my favourite little spots. This is on Pirongia West Road, Mount Pirongia. Nice view out to the Kawhia Harbour there. But that's not why we're here today. We are on our first ride, sorta. I did ride this bike back, but we're going to reveal what the long-term test bike is. So this is the bike that I'm going to be riding through the winter, and hopefully we're going to get a really good understanding of it. Because like I said before, last time I had this bike in the garage, it was only for about a week. There's only so much you can learn about a bike during that time. So without further ado, it is the Moto Morini X-Cape. That's the bike that is joining us in the garage. So you may remember last year I had a silver version of this bike hanging out with us, and that was quite a good bit of fun. I brought that bike out here in very similar conditions, except it was a bit wetter, and I didn't even know how to turn the ABS off, but I've learnt that all now. So for the next 3 or 4 months we are going to be riding this bike and finding out more about it, enjoying it, and seeing how it fits within the adventure landscape here in New Zealand. So straight off the bat, this bike goes head to head with the Suzuki V-Strom 650. That is its closest competitor. They're the only 2 lunar approved adventure bikes on the market at the moment in terms of 650s. You've of course also got the Benelli TRK 502X, which is a 500, and the Honda CB 500X. Now, also I kind of think it does almost line up with the Kawasaki KLR. I know that's technically a really big dual sport, but it's kind of in a grey area. But unlike the other 650s, including the Kawasaki, you can turn the ABS off on this thing. Comes factory with adjustable suspension. You've got Marzocchi forks in the front, and I can't remember what the rear shock is, but you've got adjustment there as well. Got a 649cc parallel twin engine, about 60 horsepower in New Zealand spec. Lunar approved of course, so it is under that 150 kilowatts per tonne limit. That is because the bike, it is a bit on the heavy side. It's 213 kilos dry, but considering that all the other bikes
in this segment are quite heavy as well. The KLR is well over 200 kilos now. The Suzuki is, I believe, 215 to 220 wet. So it's still within the ballpark, and yeah, it's almost equivalent to, say, a 800 DE in terms of weight. So you're looking at around, with a full tank of gas, full of oil, it'd be about, let's say, doing some dodgy maths in my head here, around that 225 to 230 kilogram mark. It's far from a hefty beast, but it is there. You do notice the weight. So let's go around this beastie, and we'll show off some of the cool features it's got.
Righto, so the Moto Morini has some pretty cool stuff out of the box. It's got some very nice bodywork that really keeps the wind and elements off you. It's got a full set of LED lights, including daytime running lights. You can see the big LED bulbs in there. They only switch on once the bike is actually running, which I imagine is to keep battery drainage to a minimum. You've also got plenty of switches, nice and easy, that fall to hand, adjustable levers, and a lovely big TFT display. I've got this in the dirt mode, which is just a mode for the screen. It doesn't change the throttle response or anything, and it has a really cool tachometer, which is a dirt tyre. Plenty of other cool features in there, including phone connectivity, and you can even control music on your phone through the bike. Now, moving to the back, you've got a reasonably comfortable seat there, nice wide pillion pad for your pillions, as well as a factory grab rail and small luggage rack. Out the back, you have some rather meaty Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tyres, same as what comes on the Tenere 700. Very cool looking exhaust, and of course an adjustable rear shock. Moving to the front, you can see we have twin Brembo calipers on twin discs up the front. Also got a Brembo caliper in the rear.
Right, so X-Cape, it seems like a pretty decent deal out there, but it's not really been accepted by the New Zealand market like I expected it would. Based off the specs, this should be a top seller, but it's not really been picked up that way, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's not enough dealers around the country yet. Maybe it's a bit of hesitancy because it's a new brand to the country. Either way, I think this is a cracking bike, and I'm really excited to be spending the next few months riding it. Now I'm finally over pneumonia, which, yeah, don't recommend catching that. I'm hoping to spend some more time on the weekends during the week when I'm not working or not looking after small humans that very much like climbing on this thing already. Yeah, hoping to get out and about, do some exploration, hopefully to do a few mods as well. So Moto Morini does have a whole lot of accessories for this bike out of the gates. So you can get crash bars, you can get a skid plate, you can get luggage, and you can even get a touring screen. So I do recall when I had the first bike, wearing my peaked adventure helmet, I was getting a bit of buffeting. So I have not been doing that lately. Oh, car coming. Yeah, so accessories. I'm hoping to get my hands on some of the official Moto Morini accessories for this bike to install and test out. Hopefully not in too much of a hardcore fashion. So I'd like to see if I can get my hands on the skid plate and the crash protection bars in particular. Touring screen maybe. Like I was saying just before I got rudely interrupted by that car, I did notice when wearing my peaked adventure helmet last year when I first rode this bike, I was getting a fair bit of buffeting. So we can hopefully change that with the touring screen. The screen itself is adjustable from the factory. So you just push that knob down and it goes up or down, which is really nice and handy. I've had it in the up position. Obviously it changes a lot easier when you're not standing in front of the bike. Also, other nice things and things I've tweaked, you've got adjustable levers. So I have adjusted the reach on both the brake and the clutch lever. I might take a leaf out of Mr. Ryman's book and just shift this mirror perch in slightly, as I'll show you with this hand. So when I hold my hand here on the brake, my index finger doesn't really get into that notch very well, and they're very good brakes. They're Brembos. You've got twin Brembos on the front, one on the rear, Very good stopping power, and you really do only need one finger, but yeah, using that finger's not really my cup of tea, so I might adjust that. I'll also sort of tilt them forward a little bit just to make it a little bit easier on while standing off-road. We've also got factory luggage rack here, so I will be having a go, if I can, taking this moto camping. It is winter, so we'll see how that goes depending on weather and such, but much easier bike to put my GV luggage on. Got lower mounting strap holes there, easy to remove with a key pillion seat, and I've already tried my waterproof bag on the back here because that's what's got my camera kit in it, sitting over there, so easy enough to strap luggage to in stock form. Being a bike that I'm hoping to do a lot of adventure touring on, exploring back roads and such, skid plate would be nice just for that peace of mind. So I'm going to ask Moto Morini New Zealand if we could grab a skid plate. As you can see, just riding out here in these rather muddy conditions, she's picked up a fair bit of crap on her. So yeah, we want to protect down there as best we can, just because you never know what's around the corner. This isn't a bike for doing hardcore adventuring on. I don't imagine you'd have a fun time taking this on something like One Big Day, like I did last year on Rosie, where having full ground clearance was quite handy at times as we were skidding through mud and bouncing off obstacles. Hey, I don't know, maybe you're a masochist, maybe you really do want to take something like this on a ride like that. But for me, in my mind, this bike is for getting out and about and exploring. Got to say sorry about the wind noise as well. I did bring a lapel mic, but yeah, forgot it needed an adapter. So yeah, Moto Morini X-Cape 650. This is going to be in the On Throttle garage for the next few months. We'll be doing a whole lot of content on it, so stick around for that. Don't worry, Rosie the Rally's still around, and there will be other test bikes throughout the winter as well. But this is going to be my primary focus, my primary form of transportation when I'm not ferrying around children, and I'm very much looking forward to sort of showcasing really just what this bike can do. So thanks for watching. We will return to the Moto Morini X-Cape very soon, so don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.